I think what holds people back, Garrett, and this is from a lot of sales, and when people say, I feel like I'm being pushy, the first question that I ask them is, do you believe in what you're selling? Do you actually truly believe in the service or the product that you're selling? Because if you don't, it's going to be very hard to be genuine. So that's the first question that I think people should tackle if they feel like they're being pushy. Welcome back, everyone, to Life at 10 Tenths, where we inspire you to live at the pinnacle of your ability and purpose. As always, Garrett Fry is him, and I am Matt Bonelli, and you are you. And we really appreciate you being here with us.
You think everybody's out there going like, I'm me? Like, that's who I Oh, okay.
So welcome. We're here. We have a fun topic today that came from someone who is an incredible person in our world, and we're excited to dive in on this because I think that, Garrett, this comes up for a lot of people, particularly in real estate, but in all sales, which is, I want to make sure it's genuine. I want to make sure it's authentic, and I just cringe at the hard sell, right? But is it really just tactics and strategy, or is there something more behind the difference between being that hard salesman and a great salesman with awesome authenticity?
Well, I think this is the number one reason that people shy away from sales. They shy away from, I don't want to be a real estate agent because I don't want to be a salesperson. Sales is icky. It's got all kinds of stuff with it. And I think that there's a lot of people that are really, really, really good salespeople. Like, they're really skilled at it. They're really gifted at it. But the problem is they try so hard not to be a salesperson that they actually hurt their business. They hurt their ability of being as successful as they possibly could with it. One of the things I love about our world, Matt, is we surround ourselves with incredible people that are driven to grow their business. They're driven to get better. They're driven to raise the bar at all stages in their business and their life and where they're at. And every once in a while, I should say more often than every once in a while, we get a phone call from somebody that's like, hey, I want to share, or hey, I was listening to your podcast, or I was on one of your coaching calls, and this is what came out of it for me, and I want to share. Larry Boatman. Larry, I want to say thank you so much for reaching out. Larry is an incredible agent that has circled around my world for many years. Prior business I was in, Larry showed up. And when we started this new venture, Matt, Larry came our direction and said, I'm all in. I want to learn what you guys have got going on here. Well, he called me the other day, and he was trying to weigh out this thing that had really been, I would say, upsetting him almost. And it's this thing of like, I watch all these different sales techniques out here, all these classes. And he said, you can go to all these different classes. And he called out like a couple. He didn't just point at one and be like, I'm frustrated with this. But he said, everything seems to have a hook. He says, you're asking these really nice questions, but we're asking these really nice questions trying to go like, I got him. Like, there's the business. Okay, like, here we go. And he's like, it just feels yucky. Like, this is not what is there a way to do it without having this hidden agenda all the time behind the scenes? And we had a great conversation about, how you should do systems that you have, where your mindset should be around it. And I had to really reinforce to him that you can make an incredible business without having the hidden agenda attached to it. And Matt, what I'm excited to talk with you about today is I have seen people, when they are able to let that I'm doing this to make the sale go away, when all of a sudden, like, their finances are at a place that they're like, I'm just kind of doing this because I love the business and I love these people, and it's not about like making a certain amount of money anymore. All of a sudden, their business takes off because the phone call they're making and the note they're writing and the lunch they're going on is because they really like these people with nothing attached. And so, Larry, I want to say thank you. Larry Boatman, amazing gentleman. I want to say thank you again. And again, with this being said, Matt, let's dive into this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Larry, thanks so much for bringing this up. And if you need a great realtor in Minneapolis, Minnesota, give Larry a call.
Matt, thank you, by the way, for that. I was sitting here and all of a sudden I was like, I think he's in Minneapolis, but I didn't want to say it wrong. So thank you for being quick on the computer there, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think this is so fascinating. And And it gets into intention, it gets into authenticity, and there's a lot of nuance here when it comes to authenticity in sales because strategies are important, tactics are important, just as it is in any business, and every business involves some level of sales. And then on the other side of it, you've always said this, Garrett, like for a year, ever since I known you, like the first thing you said, people's BS meter is up. They know, right? And so when we try to coat the thing that we want to do, the sales, the business, whatever it is, in niceties that we don't necessarily really mean, like people know, they totally get it. And so there's options here. We can be direct, we can learn to have more genuine intention in our actions. And I think there is a combination there because we do need to be a bit transformative. If you're someone who's like, well, I just don't like talking to people, I don't really care about how their day is. And it's like, okay, well, we can change that. We need to have a transformation there to begin, because if you're not about relationships, this business is going to be really hard.
So it's interesting. So there is the term Ford, which has been used out there by many sales training companies. Ford, which is like family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, things like that. When you start asking these questions to people, I used to laugh for years because people would call me and they'd go, "Hey, can you give me some like basic Ford questions?" I'm like, "What do you mean basic Ford questions? Like, how's your work going?" Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, like what did you do for fun over this weekend? Like, oh, that's a great one. Like, okay, those are very basic Ford questions. Like, if we're gonna bother to truly listen to somebody, if we're gonna bother to truly engage with them and really care about what is going on in their life, there are 10 layers deeper of these types of questions. Asking about somebody's relationship with their family and their kids and their hobbies and their work and their dreams for the future and what they've got going on. We've got all these layers as we go down through this. And it's like I can't teach you as a coach, as a trainer, what the next best Ford question is to ask. What I can do is I can teach you to listen better and care more to these people. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's the next question to ask. I just basically had a nice conversation with them and they told me that their kid is going off to Texas A&M. How did she pick Texas A&M? By the way, never could have figured that question out beforehand, but I can figure it out now because you said your daughter's going to Texas A&M. Ah, excellent. How did she pick Texas? It was her only school she picked. Her only school? What made that be the school? Like all these questions you can't formulate in a sales technique and then sit back going, okay, when's the real estate going to come up? Here I am. Now I've asked 3 questions about his kid. I know at some point they're going to refer me or give me an opportunity. Where is it? I got to find it in here. You can break this pretty quickly if you just make it all with this hidden hook behind the scenes.
So basically what you're saying, it sounds like have a conversation. I mean, that's what that sounded like to me.
Was a conversation. Be a nice person. Like here, like
well, and I think here is the nuance with this a little bit, right? Particularly in real estate, because real estate sales is a long-term game, right? And all the trainings you go to, they'll say, well, everybody is a potential client. And that's true because everybody has a place to live or is looking for a place to live or would like to have a place to live, right? Unlike, let's say, if you are a pipe salesman. Well, you probably target customers of plumbers and people who use pipe. Not everybody uses pipe, right? So in that respect, people say, well, everybody is a potential client. So everybody is a sales opportunity. And so we get these tactics and strategies to bring people into our database when, yeah, it's something that we want to be doing. Absolutely. And we want to be intentional about it. However, when it comes to your system, unless somebody is raising their hand and talking about real estate, we don't need any of those sales things. Let's just focus on being a good person. And that is one element of training and personal development that should happen. And you brought up something, Garrett, too, when we were talking the other day. You mentioned like, well, if you're not going to do these things, if you weren't in real estate, then maybe we're not being genuine enough. And I think there's some nuance there that we can get into when it comes to that type of strategy. But even when it gets into like direct sales and people are raising their hand, people are saying things about real estate, how do you approach those situations? And a lot of times I think people sugarcoat those conversations when they should just be direct. Be like, hey, I heard you talking about potentially selling your home. Is there anything that I can do to help? And I think what holds people back, Garrett, and this is from a lot of sales, and when people say, I feel like I'm being pushy, the first question that I ask them is, do you believe in what you're selling? Do you actually truly believe in the service or the product that you're selling? Because if you don't, it's going to be very hard to be genuine. So that's the first question that I think people should tackle if they feel like they're being pushy.
Well, it's interesting. I had somebody who was they were trying to do some market reviews for a client the other day. They're trying to get in the system of doing it, and they're like, how do I do this? How do I present it? When do I do this? They're overthinking all these pieces. And I said to them, Matt, I said, do you see value in you doing these for these people? And there was this kind of long pause, and I said, why would you want to do these? And it kept coming back to trying to figure out how to get one more sale, like another sale. That was the reason. No, stop. Like, stop going down that route. What is another benefit of you being this person to these people? So when you're presenting this information, you're doing this activity, you're bringing a different, genuine side. And this is, Matt, what you're talking about is believing what you do. Because if you truly believe, like if you're, and this we said this a while back, if you're walking by somebody who's choking and you know the Heimlich maneuver, like this is your opportunity to be like, can I help you? Like, can I, would you like to breathe? Like I can help you in this situation. Like, like if you're a master at your craft of real estate and you watch somebody who is potentially needing to buy, needing to sell, and you're like, I have the skills and the tools to make sure that not only are you going to sell your home, but you are going to sell it for the top dollar, and you are going to get out of here in the least amount of time possible with very little headaches. And I'm going to make sure this is the safest it can possibly be for you. Like I am that damn good. I've been doing this long that I should be able to go raise my hand and just like I know the Heimlich maneuver. Would you like help? It's okay to ask, and they may go, I got it. Like, and that's somebody choking, by the way. As I realized they couldn't be able to talk, so just roll with me on this one. But they may go, I got it. They may throw themselves up against a table and pop the piece of food out and go, hey, thanks, man. Like, if I needed you, it was good to know you were there. Like, it's okay. They fixed it on their own. But we should have no problem saying, I know the Heimlich maneuver, or hey, I know how to handle that for you, or hey, I have somebody who can help you with that. We're here to help, and we're here to serve people, and we're here to bring value into their world. And we should surround ourselves with incredible people. And I think like where Larry was listening to Sandy McMasters when we had her on the other day, and it was talking about putting yourself in areas, that's where we started to talk about this. And it was a strategic way of putting yourself around people. And I look at this like, yeah, I could totally join Cars and Coffee, Matt, with the intention of, I'm going to go there. I'm a real estate agent. I'm going to put myself around high net worth individuals. And if I'm going there going, and maybe one of them is going to bring up real estate, broke it, you ruined it, not good. But if I go there saying, I'm going to meet a whole lot of great people that I have like and common interest with, that probably happen to own real estate and might need help with real estate at one point, I would really like to work with those people because we have this common interest, because we have this common energy. Wouldn't it be fun to not only sit at the table talking about real estate, but also be like, dude, after this, you want to go for a drive? Like that's who I want to work with. Like that would be fun. Like let's open that box up. It's not for the real estate, it's for building this business that you want to build and helping the people that you want to help. Like you got to change that mindset in there.
Yeah, and it really is that at the core, your mindset as who you are in your own business, and who you are to other people around you. And we also have to let go of worrying about that ego that's sitting there, because if you're going into a situation like, I got to get some business out of this, like you're totally focused on yourself. Then we say this a lot, focus on the other people. And that may be something you need to develop and a skill you need to develop to get there. And that's okay, by the way. You can learn that. Here's the other thing. It's also okay that you're embarking on this journey because you are in sales. It's totally okay that you're like, hey, I want to grow my database and surround myself with more people because it probably will have an effect on my business. That's totally okay. And then if you're like, one day when I decide to hang it up, I may not do these things anymore. That's okay too. It's how you show up in the moment that really, really matters. And it starts with that belief system in what you are selling. And for those of you who maybe have some, because we all get this, maybe whether it's imposter syndrome or just some confidence challenges in your ability to perform the service, what I'm saying is do you believe in the service itself? Do you believe in realtors being advisors for people looking to buy and sell real estate? If you believe in that, you can put a lot of genuine intention behind your interactions as you develop your database.
Think about this though, Matt. Think about how many people get into real estate and they get into real estate going, man, the market's booming right now. Look at how much money's being made over there. Like, I'm seeing people just, I'm our friend right now. I mean, he keeps talking about it. He just keeps putting, did you see the commission check he just recently got? Wait, I think I could do this. I think I can make money at this. I'm going to go get my real estate license because there's some easy money to be made here. And this is the reason that when the market shifts and all of a sudden it's maybe not as easy money, we watch half the realtors blow out because they're like, this isn't easy anymore. They were in it for the wrong intentions. And by the way, it's where the whole salesman mentality that people hate and dislike boils around, because the minute it's not easy, they start getting salesy. People go like, oh, a salesperson. I don't want another salesperson around me right now. And it's like, they were never in it for the right intention. This is where someone like Larry Boatman, this is where a lot of the people that we surround ourselves around, Matt, their intention is right. They're not just in it for the moment, quick sale. I'm going to make some quick money and I'm going to blast out of here because, man, real estate is an easy street way to be wealthy. They understand it's a business and they want to be genuine. And just that you're naturally down that right path. Oh my gosh, surround me by those people. Those are the people that I want around our world, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
There is great money to be made. You can make a lot of money real fast. I've seen people I just had somebody have a $200,000 month.
I got someone queuing one of those up for next month. Well, or maybe it's this month when this goes out.
Is someone, we're going to have her on the podcast. We're going to talk about it because when she came into my world, Matt, she was making $40,000 a month. Oh, sorry, a year. $40,000 a year in real estate, having a $200,000 month coming up.
Well, and there's a reason why people make a lot of money in sales, because it is hard. Like we talk about how easy it is, build relationships, just be likable and nice and all that stuff. But when it comes to like the actual sales part, where you do need to have tough conversations with people, where you are involving a whole lot of emotions on their part, because particularly in real estate, these are not just like, yeah, I'm just going to click the button and buy, right? Like it's not the Amazon shopping cart where you're just clicking and clicking and going, oh my goodness, where did all these boxes come from? And so being a salesperson is hard work. And that's why the top people do make a lot of money doing it.
Well, here's the thing. It's a lot of work and there's a lot of risk. Like if you think about the element of risk that a real estate agent holds on their shoulders by handling a real estate transaction, all the things that they are managing, all the deadlines they're managing for their client, all the ways that all of a sudden that can come back and bite them later down the road because something wasn't represented correctly or wasn't done right or signed right or whatever it might be. And if you're doing it right, 99.9% of the time, that realtor is going to be safe moving through that process and providing the incredible service. And it's a solid, safe business. There is always that element of something that's weird, something that goes wrong. All of a sudden, there's something that happens. And this is why you make the money you make. It's why a surgeon makes the money that they make. The risk and reward is high. And so you got to look at this and I think understand what your value is, understand what you're bringing to the table. And I think that there are so many people out there, Matt, that they want somebody that has their best interest, that really truly cares about them and is also good at their craft. And this is where surrounding yourself with the right people, there's a strategic side to this, because I can easily go as a realtor and go, I'm talking to so many people, and we've used this as an example, but I'm talking to them at the soup kitchen. It's like, okay, you're doing the right thing. You're talking to lots of people. I appreciate it. But how can we put you into a group that you also resonate with, that you're also wanting to be around? And there's a likelihood of them needing help of your service. If I owned a tire shop, I don't want to go hang around people that aren't, yet 16 years old and be a youth coach to sports teams and things like that. And I mean, I can do it, but hopefully, like, I'm talking to the parents who own cars afterwards and not just being the coach on the field to these kids. Like, it's great, it's commendable, it's awesome. But the people who own cars, I need to be asking questions to them and talking with them and building relationships with them, because they're the ones that are going to be like, hey, we should go to Coach Matt for tires this weekend. Let's go to Coach Matt for tires. Like, that connection has to be made. And it can easily get turned into a salesy mentality of like, I better go over and talk to the parents before the end of like practice because I got to make sure we have our quotas for sales this week, or it can be just building incredible relationships. And this is where I told Larry, would you do the systems if you weren't in this business anymore? Would you still pick up the phone and call this? Would you still write those notes? Would you still schedule those lunches? Would you still get the tickets to go to the game with them? And if the answer is yes, you're on the right track.
And if the answer is no, that could be okay with an asterisk of a lot of factors. And I think even what you were just going through, a lot comes into like, what is sales, right? Sales is problem solving. And if you believe in the solution that you're offering to help solve problems and you really want to help people solve those problems, you're going to do what you can to find more people who have that problem so you can help them solve it. And I think that is where potentially a lot of realtors maybe get lazy in their sales because like, well, everybody needs a house. So like, they'll just come to me. It's like, no, go find your people so you can help solve those problems. And this also gets to something I've been thinking about where a lot of people say, well, traditional sales is pushy and hard. And I'm like, you know what? I think we need to change that, because when you go back and look at the great sales teachers and coaches and sales people, they weren't doing the hard sale. The hard sale is not traditional sales. Traditional sales is great service. It's great problem solving. It's having conversations with people that, yes, maybe lead to highlighting a problem so that we can discuss a potential solution. But traditional sales is also being so passionate about the solution that no matter how those people get the problem solved, if it was through you or somebody else, you're happy for them because they solved the problem. Whereas the non-traditional sales, what developed was the, hey, let's go get money because look at these guys making all this money doing sales. Hey, if we can just develop a 10-point format here of asking this question, which leads to this question, and if they say this, go to this thing and just do this, then we're going to be able to make sales. And yes, that does work in some scenarios, not long-term. And that's where that pushy hard sales came from, not traditional sales.
Well, I like the mindset of problem solving. And you think about it as sales, typically you have an inventory of product and that is all the same. It's all the same. Let's just say vacuum cleaners, for example, good old fashioned door-to-door vacuum cleaner sales. I've got a warehouse of the exact same vacuum cleaner. My job is to sell all these vacuum cleaners. I can't find one with a different color. I can't find one that makes a better sound. Like, they all are the same. So when I go to somebody's door, my only job is to figure out, do they have a problem that I can solve with this vacuum cleaner? Because if I can, we're going to make a sale today. And very rarely, I have never heard of somebody say, and maybe I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but maybe I've never heard anybody go, I ended up with this product because I just wanted the damn salesperson to go away. Like, I just want him to go away, so I bought a vacuum cleaner just to make him go. Maybe it happens out there, but for the most part, they're typically trying to sell it to their spouse about why they bought the vacuum cleaner. Because look, it gets in the crevices better. Like, this is why I bought it. Like, why we spent our money on this. That crevice that I couldn't get in before with the vacuum cleaner, look at it. Look at how clean it is. Like, all these little things, they all of a sudden buy into it. I remember we had a salesperson years ago, Matt, that used to come by our house, did it every single year. You guys have probably all had this experience where they got a bottle of cleaner on their side, they got a little scrub brush, and all of a sudden they are cleaning crap in your front yard. And they're like, oh, water spots on your lamps here? Like, shh, and they're spraying, like, water spots are gone. Here, a little stain in your driveway. Look at this. It's got one spray, one little scrub. They're gone. And at a certain point, you're like, how have I lived without this thing in my life? Like, look at all the things that are going to be clean because I have this. Like that is a moment that they defined a problem I didn't even know I had. And now I have this bottle of cleaner that in real scenario, I'm never going to use. It's going to sit under my counter. Guy made a sale, fixed a problem for me. I didn't really know I needed it, but I got it now. And we move along in our life.
Yeah. You're not upset at that guy for highlighting something. And just because you're not using the product isn't his fault.
We laugh every single time he'd come back. Every single year, we'd be like, he's back. He's back. And we'd all go out and we'd buy more of his product because I liked the guy. And Matt, what you said, he believed in his product. He believed in it at the highest level. The people that are the top vacuum cleaner salesmen, they believe in that damn vacuum and how great it is and how it's better than every other vacuum out there because they've decided to figure out the things that are the best about that one over all the other ones. The cleaners, same exact way.
I think I have an idea for a service to do the cleaning of those things. Since clearly the product's not being used, maybe we just now need to upsell from the product to the, hey, and if you guys don't want to do this, we actually have a service that can come out every other week to clean these things for you. Would you like to see what that looks like? Which would just save your time.
Where I go into real estate and I look at real estate from the outside and you go, okay, where are the loopholes that this could be done better than others around me that I can find my belief in it, where I can say, I know the Heimlich maneuver. I see you're choking. Do you need my help? That type of passion, that type of energy about it. I don't think many of us are that far away. I know Larry Boatman, he's right there. But some of us hold on to this energy so much of, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want it to seem like there's a hook. I don't want it. That sometimes we miss the opportunities. We actually step away from it going like, I don't want to seem salesy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so I'll offer this out to everyone because I think the disconnect in real estate, because I think we can all understand the door-to-door salesman. Great. They're coming here. They're going to see if the problem's there. And in a genuine way, if the problem's not there, they'll move along because they recognize as good salespeople, my product, my service is not a solution because they don't have this problem. Like you could, as a tire salesman, you could go door to door and you could be like, you could just look at the driveway. Well, they got great tires on their cars already. I don't need to knock on that door because I don't have a solution. Oh, but down the street, like they look like they could use some new tires. Let me go ask them some questions, right? Within real estate, I think what the challenge with realtors is they're like, hey, I need to have conversations, then follow up with these people until the opportunity comes up. And it becomes ingenuine because our whole purpose is to drive a real estate sale instead of just getting to know people and looking for ways to add value. And this gets into what we talked about inside the 11 circle, Garrett, with the trust pathway and understanding that, hey, there is a path to these relationships. And the first layer has nothing to do with business. It just has to do with building trust, getting to know people, helping people get to know who you are, because there's other opportunities than making the sale. There's referrals that we can get. And then as people come into our world and conversations develop, we look for ways to then share the value of our knowledge through our marketing efforts and things like that, which gets into a whole nother conversation of the quality of the material that we put out so that it actually truly is of value to people. But there's a pathway, right? And if you look at that, you're like, oh gosh, I feel like it puts things at ease of like, oh, okay, I don't need to go hard sell somebody up front. I just need to work on building a relationship. But I do need to then work on the skills of when it comes up, how do then I move from that conversation? Because this is where realtors stumble, is they're really good at maybe developing those relationships. Then real estate comes up and they're like, I can't say anything because I don't want to do a hard sell. It's like, no, this is the time. This is the time to say, hey, you guys know what I do, right? Is there anything I can do to help you? Whereas a lot of people go, oh, you're looking to sell? I want to sell your house.
When you go to sell, I want to make sure I can be here to help you. It's like, well, why are you bringing it up? I'm not even thinking about selling right now.
And here's the nuance right there. Well, hey, when you guys are thinking of selling, is that something that you would like help with doing when the time comes? Yeah, probably. Awesome. Well, when that does come, keep me in mind. I'd love to have the opportunity to serve you at that capacity because it's something I'm passionate about. Versus when the time comes, I'm selling your house. Now, if you have a really close friend,
just remember, I'm your realtor.
Yeah.
Like, and again, so there's a lot of, and this reminds me, man, we've talked about this before, about my friend who owns the tire shop up in Grants Pass, Oregon. And it's funny, he does most of his sales through turkey season. And he goes out and he basically looks in the paper and he finds he's a bow hunter. So he looks in the paper and he finds all the people that have complaints about their turkeys on their property because they publish it. All the people that are mad about their turkeys right now.
It's an interesting newspaper.
They go to the county, basically. So the county actually, it's like complaints about things it's a small town, man.
Calling all hunters, come clear turkeys off the Johnson's property.
So that is the thing. You can then call the people and say, I see you have a turkey problem. Would you like me to come out and take a look at it? I can take care of some of those for you. And so he goes out in his uniform, and his whole thing is, and he's in his uniform because he just left his job. Like, he's just left the tire shop. So he hits it on the way home in his truck that has the business down the side of it. And as he's standing there talking to him, they're like, "Oh, you own the tire shop?" It's, "Oh, yeah, that's my shop down there." And he's all talking about the turkeys, though. I said, "Matt," I said, "how many people do you sell tires to of the houses that you go to look at turkeys?" He goes, "All of them." I'm like, incredible. He's like, we make a connection. I build a relationship with them. I'm solving another problem that has nothing to do with tires, but I'm solving another problem for them over here, which builds trust and relationship with them. And he goes, I'll sell tires to them. I'll sell tires to their kids. I'll sell tires to their friends. He goes, all because I took care of a problem over here that had nothing to do with my business. He's like, he goes, and he goes, on the flip side, I love filling the freezer with turkeys every single year. Like, he's like that. There's a win all around this whole thing.
Amazing lean protein. Like, yeah, big wins right there for essentially free too. I mean, obviously you need the skill and the money to have the things to go and actually capture those turkeys. But
I think it's funny because I'm not a hunter and I've never really been able to get into that whole world. But it is
a grocery store. It's just different.
Exactly. It is interesting when, like, you look at a situation like that, like those turkeys in Grants Pass, and we have the problem around here too. They will tear your world up. Like, there's nothing worse than 5 turkeys standing on top of your car, scratching around like they're trying to find bugs in all the little crevices and stuff. Like, it is bad, bad, bad. So,
well, Garrett, I want to use one final kind of example because you brought up your friend here in his tire outfit. Because one of the things that was taught a lot, particularly where I sold real estate in New Jersey, wear your name tag. Wear your name tag to the grocery store. And so often the script would be, wear it to the grocery store. And people are like, "Oh, you're a realtor? Oh, gosh, I forgot that I had that on." Talk about lack of genuine intention. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, that is the hard sale. Now, nothing wrong if you want to go wear your name tag out. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, yep, I am a realtor. I help people buy and sell homes. It's something I love to do." And which is, why I want to make sure people know that that's what I do. Just be honest about it, right? Like, just that little thing. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then don't do it. You don't have to be hunting for the sales opportunity in every single thing that you do. What you do want to be looking for is, how do I build great relationships? Because if those people have a problem that I can solve, I want to make sure that I'm available to help solve that problem, right? And you and I do that with what we do. Like, that's why we talk to a lot of people in the real estate space, because we want to help solve the problem of growing their business and harmonizing it in with their lives.
So here's an interesting nuance to the name tag. And so when I was selling real estate in Grants Pass, I worked for a company, which is Windermere, which a lot of people who listen to this know the Windermere, love Windermere. It's a great company. And when we used to sponsor the 4th of July parade in town, I think it's the 4th of July parade. Yeah. I remember they gave us out t-shirts. They were white shirts and they had Windermere written across the chest in big letters. And I'm a t-shirt guy. And I was like, sweet, t-shirts. Like, I will always take a t-shirt. You never have to ask me twice. I don't care what it is. I will grab a t-shirt, and that goes into a huge, because I destroy them is what happens. So it's like free t-shirts coming home with me.
So for all you t-shirt salesmen out there, give Garrett a call. He's going to be an easy one.
Yeah, I'll take t-shirts. So what was really interesting, though, is I did not wear it with the intention of a name tag per se, Matt. I was like, t-shirt. I work in Windermere. Put the t-shirt on. Go out. I'm going to go grocery shop and I'm going to do this. The amount of people that stopped me when I was wearing that shirt that said, "Do you work at Windermere? Do you sell real estate?" Like, yeah. They'd be like, "Hey, I have a question for you. Like, what's going on out there right now? Or we be standing in the line, just killing time while we're waiting for the register to get our stuff pushed through." It's like, all of a sudden, here I am having a conversation. And it's different if I'm like wearing all my garb and my hat and all my stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to go out and have some real estate conversations today. Like, let's go do this. Or if you're just, you can be a billboard for yourself. You can have that stuff if it feels real. Like, wear it if it feels right, if it feels good. And if you've got something that will make that conversation happen, bonus. But don't shy away from it. I think if you wear a name tag, wear it with pride, wear it loud and proud, and like be like, you know what? I do this because this is part of what my attire is and what I wear. But don't do it wearing go like, oh, I forgot.
Oh my gosh, is that thing still on there? Oh, silly me. Well, and Garrett, I think that highlights like belief in what you do and belief in who you work for, who you work with. Even if you're working for yourself, we should be proud to wave the flag of the company that we're with. We should be proud to wave our own flag if it's our own company or our own brand. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with wearing your own brand or the brand that you work for. In fact, that's showcases your belief in what you do. What you just explained was your belief in that, hey, Windermere is a great company. We are here to serve the people in the capacity of buying and selling real estate. And I am proud to be here. And that's what that leads up to. And my thought had changed on the name tag over time, because initially I was like, oh, so cringe. But then I was like, you know what? There's a lot of value to that, particularly if you're out showing homes and stuff like that. It's an easy way to identify who you are. You hear those stories of people calling the cops on that person walking into the house next door because, like, wait, who's that? Well, like, there's easy ways to just kind of also help those situations.
There's a whole nother thing, which psychologically, there's studies on it, that people that wear name tags have answers and information.
See,
if you think of any person you ever see that has a name tag, the reason they have that name tag is so that you can be like, hey, Matt, I have a question for you real quick. Whether they use your name or not, they know that you have the name tag because you have answers anywhere you go. Watch people. If they have name tags, they have answers for you. They're a person you can ask questions to. There's a psychological thing that happens with that too. So, all right.
So did we just go from like genuine sales to at the end, now we're just recommending that people wear name tags? Is that where this?
No, I did not. At the end of the day, be genuine, be authentic, put yourself around people that know, like, and trust. And the cool thing about real estate is that if you surround yourself with the right people, with people in general, they're going to need help at some point with real estate. Their friends are going to need help with real estate. Their kids are going to need help with real estate. So it's just kind of one of those things that if you can be genuine and surround yourself with the right people, it's not finding the real estate. The real estate will find you, but you just need to be open to it. You need to be there and be willing. And people do need to understand what your value is. So you can't have all these great skills. And this is why you got to be okay when we use the Heimlich thing to be like, oh, wait, Garrett knows the Heimlich. Garrett, come over here. Somebody's choking. Like, we need to have that ability of people knowing that we have a skill. And if they don't know we have the skill, yeah.
Well, and that's where I get into, like, if you believe in what you do, you believe in what you sell, you believe in the solution that you have to solve a problem, then make it your mission to go find more people who have that problem. Example with emergency services people. They're not sitting around just kind of waiting. Like, when they're out, they look, they see who needs help, who needs service. I mean, yes, we got systems for that and all that kind of thing, but they're not just kind of like hoping, well, I hope somebody knows that I'm in emergency services. No, they got big cars with lights and all these things so people can find them because they want to serve and solve problems. I'm not saying you need to have big cars with lights and all that stuff in real estate, but
here comes another doctor. Oh, like,
yeah. My gosh, here comes somebody to save my life.
Trying to stitch me up. Horrible. I don't want stitches. Leave me alone.
Oh man. So be proud of what you do and just look for more people that you can help solve a problem for. And in the meantime, be genuine about the relationships that you build. Just be interested in other people and do work on that skill if that is an area that you need to build. That's totally okay. Like, totally okay.
Well, Matt, to wrap this up, Larry Boatman, thank you so much for bringing this topic into our world. It's been a topic that's been there, but I always love to be able to hit on something that is special to somebody right now. So again, thank you for making the phone call to me or making the text to me. With that being said, Matt, for any of you that want to know more of what Matt and I have going on in our world and how we're helping more and more people, come check us out at Life at 10 Tenths. Inside Life at 10 Tenths, we have our coaching community, which is called the 11 Circle. And we have live coaching that happens in there. We have all kinds of other stuff that we do, from book reviews to special guests that we have come in and speak, and great takeaways. And we have events that we put on internally, whether we travel and we go, or whether we are doing community events where we all do something on the same day and report back and share our wins. This is what our world's all about. We have an amazing group of people. And Matt, I want to say thank you to you for helping me create and grow this, and vice versa. And dude, this is super fun. And I don't know if did I leave anything out?
No, man, that's great. And I appreciate you too. I love what we're doing here together. It's fun talking about this topic because we are passionate about what we do and helping others grow and see success however they like to define it. And so I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who constantly tunes in. It's always like fills me up, Garrett, when I get a message from somebody, or if like I connect with somebody in even a light way, like they just follow me on Instagram and we have a little conversation like, oh, I've been listening to you and Garrett for years. And I'm like, that's amazing. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means that you just listen to this podcast. So really appreciate everybody on that.
And for all of you still listening, if you want to help us, share this podcast, share what we are putting out here. We have a lot of people, we've made our transition over the last handful of months to this new world as we're building it and growing it. If you find value in what we're doing, please share it with other people who you think might enjoy it also. That is the biggest thing you can do for us if you want to give back to us. So thank you.
Absolutely. Agree. Well, so thank you, Garrett, and thank you, everybody. Catch you on the next one.